In this video, we're going to make this sweet Fiberglass bumper that took far too long to do, but it looks sick. I can't wait to try this. So what I'm going to have to do is take this trim off first of all. I'm going to cut along here, get all this crap away, and then cut this out a bit bigger, get the knife in, and then boom, we have drifty spec BMW. Hopefully. Or I'm going to have to back the bumper. One or two. There's obviously a load of work left in this here. There's a load of relief cuts has to be done. Now then to get this sitting to the right shape. But you get the rough idea. Yeah. Kinda wish I hadn't cut my bumper up, because now I have to do this here before I can even drive the car again. But oh well. Had a bit more play with this here. I really wasn't happy the way it was sitting before, so I took it all off again and basically cut it in half, or close enough to half, and then screwed each side on. You can see there, and goes around that side, and yeah, obviously there's a lot of work done with it. This is going to be trimmed down to about here, and these black trims are going to go back on. And then this area will be filled in, but just to get the idea of how I want it to sit. I'm quite happy with that there. So now a good few hours work left now. So what I done was trimmed around here below this black trim. It's screwed on here at the minute, but it will be, hopefully we're going to fiberglass it to the aluminium panel behind here. And then I trimmed around here. As here before, I cut that out, and then it's the same on the other side. There's a bit of flappiness here and stuff, but I say an awful lot of work left to do this. As I cut this here, it's not flapping about, so we're going to try and reinforce that, and then don't know how I'm going to make the section there yet. I either make another one in the mold and then fiberglass it in, or I might try and, if I get this and this straight with each other, so maybe like make a bracket that comes off the underside here, and then hold each side square and put a bit of plastic on and mold the shape of it, and then I can fiberglass from behind. That might be the best option, and then the top needs done as well. But I'll pop these trims on. There you go, loosely on. I think that's going to look very well once I have it all strengthened and actually joined together. There we go. I clamped this bit of wood to the bottom. I'll put a wee bit of wood in here to hold it square, like this way, and then spaced out with 2 bits of wood here. I'm going to try and fiberglass it now from underneath up in there, so I'm just not going to record that there because it'll be an absolute nightmare to try and record. I also taped this crack up here that I put in it, so I'm just gonna fix that too. Fiberglass this last night, and it all seems to have cured. Oh, that's already on there. Okay, I'll leave that on for a minute. Let's see. This should just not. This here one here is prepared now as well, and I did this bit here. So you can see it does dip in here. If I put that bit of wood on there like that, you can see it dips in from there to there. So I think I've got plenty of room to build that up. So I'm going to leave that there just nearly set, and then come in with the rasp and take the top of it off, and then I can put a scheme of filler on it, and we'll be one step further to having some sort of shape to this. It's probably almost cured now, probably 3/4 away, and it's the perfect time to take the bulk off the top because it's still a little bit soft. So that's pretty good. I'm going to give it a coat of filler now and see how it looks. Same idea with filler. We're going to mix it up and then use a bit of wood to get the shape. Same story. Filler is 3/4 dry, so take the bulk stuff you don't want off. I've got the bumper off the car now, and I separated the two parts from each other, and I cleaned up this aluminium surface on both sides and the back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay a fiberglass along here, screw this bumper together, and then start fiberglass in the back. And then I'll do this here a wee bit at the same time. I don't know what I'm going to do here yet. I might just cut these out to here and here, because where it sits, the intercooler sits about here anyway, and the strip going across here kind of blocks everything. So Might save myself a ton of work by not having to mess with this bit at all, because it's not really going to add any strength, I don't think. You can see here that I've cut this off here and here. I'm not going to fill this gap in. I'm going to round these off, and then what I'm going to do now is fill this entire centre bit up and then level it off, and then I'll try and get some of that plastic texture paint and fill that in, and then we'll put an offset plate on it somewhere. That needs built up a good bit more, but yeah, we're probably halfway there. Just a quick one tonight. So I came out and took the 3 screws out, countersunk them deeper into the fiberglass, and then put the screws back in just to hold it. And then fiberglass pasted on top of it, wait for that to dry, and then hit it with a flat wheel, and then just add a wee bit of filler on top of it there. And then tomorrow night I will smooth that off, and that should be this joint at least done. I haven't touched the ends yet, I haven't touched this bit, but here to here, and the same on the other side. And this panel here has a skim of filler on it as well. And this here, I know it looks like a lot of filler, but 90% this is going to come off. So I've been working at this off camera. I've got this all fiberglassed up now, and I've now also made this end curve. I used hot melt glue to glue this number plate on, and then a fiberglass to the number plate, because the fiberglass doesn't really stick that well to the plastic. So that should hopefully come off without breaking the fiberglass. I may destroy the number plate though. Same with that bit of plastic there. So you'll see that I now have the end curve that I was looking for. Well, I hope it's the right curve I was looking for. Also, when I trimmed this up, I put a belly, a bow in this bit here, so I've now also cut that out and then fiberglass it up. Same on this side, exact same happening. So this all needs trimmed back, and this here needs sanded down. Good bit. Lots and lots and lots of sand to do. Same on this side. Use plastic to get the form of this shape. The masking tape just stops the fiberglass flowing through like that. That gives us the shape there, and then obviously the number plate gives us the curve. That's the bumper back on the car again, and this wheel arch is pretty good. Here needs beefed up, probably 5 mil or so, and then I can start filling it in, getting the shape. Probably use the fiberglass paste to build that up, and then a skim of filler over top. That wee crack there needs repaired. And then around to the front, there's a wee bit of a dip here and here. Now I need it fixed. This needs sanded. And then around here, it has the same dip as the other side. This wheel arch is pretty good as well. So once I get these wee bits done, I can start properly filling all the scratches and everything and getting it ready for the first coat of primer. Right, that's it all built up. It looks very rough here, but once it's sanded down, it should be alright. But the shapes there, most important part, the other side, just see them. So I'm going to hit this all with a DA now, and then start doing some filler work.